The final round for Cluckies was epic with its fast-paced chase scenes, but I bet you missed out on this lore while you were trying not to get eaten by Clucky.
Got him!
I am going to go over all of the lore in Clucky's final round and give my take on what information we have been provided. In the last 2 months, we have stacked almost an hour of lore as GameTunes issued their weekly updates to Cluckies, but now we finally have that final ending. I am going to cover the cinematics, the hidden documents, and the final chase scene, and tie it all back to the story we know so far. At this point, we are all familiar with the first 4 rounds where we are in Clucky's restaurant, and we have to collect 20 Cluck buckets, game tokens, slushy machine parts, and keys to get to the final round. After each round, we are introduced to a new mascot, and the difficulty gets much harder. Let's skip all of this and get to the final round. Starting out, you fall down this trap door and find yourself here.
Looks like you've been promoted to our value menu. It's a shame you'll never get to see what's really cooking down here, because there's much more to this place than food and friendly service. But you know what they say, if you can't handle the heat, then stay out of the kitchen. What? No! I'll deal with her later. But for now, it's just you and me.
Alright, so before we get to the real chase scene, let me break down some of the lore here. First of all, we are now in the real basement. Yes, the basement that Franklin Stone Construction, aka Barney Beaverton, hinted at in their letter to Richard, which we now know as Clucky. This turns out to be where the real cooking is going on. Now, for the person who threw the rock, first of all, the person is in the shadow, and I think that they have left out all the detail on purpose. On first glance, it looks like a boy, but Clucky clearly says he will take care of her later, meaning that this is a girl.
I'll deal with her later.
So let's go over our list of girls that we know so far. We have Maya, Mama DeMonica, Betsy Bauer, and Nancy Beekman. Now we can figure out who this person is by process of elimination. First of all, Nancy Beekman is Charles Beekman's first wife, and we find out about her in her obituary. So she has been dead for a long time, and it cannot be her because of that. Next, we have Betsy Bauer, who later marries Charles Beekman. Now, while we do not know her current whereabouts, we can suspect that because she enjoys entertainment and she wears these very thick glasses, that she is in all likelihood Punny Bunny. Because she is now likely a mascot, she could not have thrown the rock because it was a human. Next, we know it is not Mama DeMonica for reasons that I will reveal real soon. So with all that said, I'm 100% confident that this girl is Maya. Now, before I explain why it's not Mama DeMonica, hit that subscribe button to the GW channel if you are loving this all-killer, no-filler, Clucky's lore content. Okay, so Mama DeMonica. Up until this point, she has been a huge mystery. We first saw these 2 images of her on the walls in Clucky's. Later, we heard her voice in the tape recording of Dr. Kane where it sounded like she was a lab assistant when the ectoplasm was created, which transformed everyone into mascots. Then she was known as Monica. But now we finally have the missing piece of information that ties it all together. Right after the first cinematic, when the first chase scene begins, if you stop and look to your left, you will see this letter from Monica, who is none other than Mama DeMonica. The letter is dated September 30th, 1984, literally 40 years to the day in the past. Wow, this is no coincidence. Here is what it says. Dear Richie, you know that I will always keep your secrets safe in my heart. I would never betray you or cast you aside. After all, I am not like the others. It is my life's purpose to make you see through their lies. I've already proven to you that I would do anything to protect you no matter the cost. Please forgive me, but I have to ask the dreaded question once more. How much longer must I wait? People have been asking questions. I feel their stares and hear their whispers around every corner. I try to pay them no mind, but I feel the judgments all the same. Surely when little Rudy arrives, our truth will be revealed, so why not come clean today? I wish you'd see the whole thing as I do. A miracle. An opportunity to come out of the shadows. Please, my love, it is only a good thing. The day will come when our love is finally realized and etched forever in eternity. Your little devil, Monica, with lipstick kiss signature. Oh my gosh, this is the juiciest piece of lore we have to date. We now know that Monica, which is Monica DeMonica, Mama DeMonica, was the mother of Rudy, and she implies that Richard, aka Clucky, is the father. From past lore, we know that Rudy grew up to be a basketball star and was later turned into Roofus Ribbit. Wow! Also, it sounds like the love between Richard and Monica was secretive. My guess is that they kept it that way because Monica may have originally been with Dr. Kane. Is that perhaps forbidden love? Another thing that this note says is that she signs the letter as your little devil. Now that fully ties back to being Monica DeMonica, aka Demon Devil. You get it? The last thing to note is that she also implies that everyone else is lying, and she's the only one telling the truth. Could it be the reason why Clucky, aka Richard, thinks everyone, especially Jack, aka Jaxon Jackyl, is out to get him? Wow, I hope we learn more soon. Okay, so now back to the chase. Directly following the letter, you come across a Barney Beaverton cutout. After several tries, I have only distinguished the following messages.
Nobody can save you. Hope you buy your hard hat. It's a wreck up there. Look both ways before crossing. Deeper and deeper, down it goes. Just how far? No one knows.
Now, when I hear this rhyme, I wonder if Barney Beaverton is talking about the basement where the real cooking is happening. I think it could be possible that we have a future Chapter 2 or some other update where we finally get to meet some of the more mysterious characters like Punny Bunny and Grease Gloom, but they're way down deep in the basement. It doesn't seem like there are hidden messages because I tried to rapidly click on him before dying and I was not able to hear anything different. Let me know if you find something else, but basically it seems like these cutout characters only say 3 phrases. Alright, so back to the chase scene. Once you get past Barney's obstacles, you find yourself in a giant ball pit with this cutscene.
Hurry on, which door will you choose? You have 30 seconds. Oh, and best not touch the ball pit unless you want to meet the monster.
So just like in the Game Tunes show where players given a choice of which door to go through, and so when I first came across this, I thought it was a trap because there was only one actual escape door for player, but they all led to the same place, it turns out. Now, before I show you these different routes, I want to show you 2 things. First of all, this is what happens when you jump into the ball pit. Alright, and then this is what happens when you let the timer run down to 0. Okay, so it wasn't about the lore, but they were fun jump scares to see, you know? Alright, now let's start with the easy door on the left. This leads you through the Jaxon Jackyl themed chase scene, and the jumps here are super easy. The only lore here is the Jaxon Jackyl cutout. Now, so far, all I could make out was this one phrase.
Hey, what's the holdup? You got a death wish?
Alright, I think he says more, but let me know if you heard him say anything else. Now, just past him leads to the Friars where all the other paths come together. So let's cover those other 2 paths now. For the second path, it is a medium difficulty and is themed for the Polar Prince. While it is medium difficulty, I found it to be just as easy, if not easier than Jaxon's path. You just jump a bunch. This time we have a cutout for the Polar Prince and he says these lines.
The summit's close. Don't slow down now. Stay sharp, or you'll freeze where you stand.
I saw what they did to the Jackyl. I saw too much.
Now, I think what the Polar Prince is saying here is that he was either there when Jack was pushed off the Polar Prince's castle, or was there when Dr. Kane was instructed to feed the ectoplasm to Jack, where it is implied he turns into Jaxon Jackyl. Alright, so after the Polar Prince, you fall to the same place where the Friars are. So moving on to the third and last path, this is the hardest difficulty, and it is Roofus, aka Rudy theme. Here I actually agree that this path is very difficult. I bet it would be almost impossible without the double jump. At the beginning is the Roofus cutout, and this is what he has to say.
Water no friend. Water no friend. Stay dry. Stay alive. Hurry. No time for explore. We'll stay here soon. Stay dry. Rufus didn't want job. Rufus wanted play.
Here we get a glimpse at Rufus remembering that when he was Rudy, he used to play basketball and was great at it. This is far too tragic, folks. Each of these characters have had a tragic end. So look at these jumps you have to do. It is quite difficult, and I would suggest only doing this path once, just to say you have completed it. If you fall into the water, you will die like this, by the way. Alright, so now on to the final fryer scene. Here we are just like Player running from Clucky in the fry room. I did not check to see if you could jump onto the almost chicken. I was too scared. Instead, I followed the path. And when you get to the end, you will get this cutscene.
I'll get you! You'll never escape! Clucky!
Oh, you poor sweet thing. Follow my voice. I'll show you the way. Oh, how long I've waited to finally meet you.
So there are two big things that come out of this. First of all, you hear Mama Demonica calling you through the door. She wants you to go through the door. She's probably taking us to the second chapter of Clucky's. Also, at the end, we get this cutscene of Clucky's cooked arm reaching out of the fry pit. He is still alive, guys. And so we can expect him to be back for that second chapter or future update. Wow, so that's it. I still don't know how to get through the door to the back of the kitchen in the main part of Clucky's, and I still don't know how to get through the theater. If you guys know about these, or if you think they'll be covered in a future update, let me know in the comments. Okay, so if you thought I did a good job covering the lore, please support this channel by subscribing for more killer Clucky's content. Later, dudes.